morning everyone, it's Thursday again. I don't know how this has happened. It feels like the weeks are flying by at the moment, but then I look at the whole of January and I think it feels like ages ago since Christmas, so it kind of makes sense. You'll probably hear from my voice that I'm a little bit run down. I am recovering from an illness. Can't remember if in the last vlog I was sick yet, but it's been pretty long, just feeling like crap basically. And also what they don't teach you in solopreneur, solo founder school, that you are never allowed to be sick because obviously the work doesn't stop and you still have to go. So it's been fine, to be honest. I can't really complain because I've just had a bit of a cold, but God forbid if I ever get something that really takes me down because I will really struggle. But it's been good. It's been a good couple of weeks. I thought that I'd start the vlog again because I've missed talking, and I tend to sort of create ideas in my head and talk about different subjects in my head and be like, oh, this would be good for the vlog and this would be good for a LinkedIn post, and this would be good for this. And it's actually about doing the action that's going to take it further and get it out there. So I thought I'd just start and then see where this day takes me basically. I'm probably just going to do a bit of a day, and then there's something, as always, there's something that I want to chat about later on that's come up over the past couple of weeks, so I will have a sit down chat with you about that. But otherwise, I'm just going to take you along for a bit of a day with me. I've been for a walk this morning, as per usual, outside, which was nice, and then I am heading to a coffee shop now to work from there for the morning. I've got a meeting soon, so I need to sort of hurry up and get gone. And then I am editing for the morning, so I'll explain more about that later. But for the time being, welcome to the vlog. Great to be back, feeling a bit better, and I will see you when I get to said coffee shop. I know I say this all the time, but whenever I go and work from somewhere else, it just refreshes me slightly. Like, you just end up having like conversations with random people, obviously not about work, but just nice conversations. People are nice out there, and you do forget that sometimes when you're hermited away and you're just working by yourself all day, every day. So it is nice to go out. And I've said this for the past year or so. One day, mark my words, I will have some form of a coffee shop or a co-working space or something that's a bit more community driven, because I think that where, independent coffee shops and chain coffee shops, I am a sucker for a Starbucks because that's where I've just been. So I'm really sorry to everyone out there that loves an independent, because I do, but I have missed Starbucks. I haven't had it in ages, so I thought I'd treat myself today. But I think that coffee shops are amazing to obviously meet people and go and have coffee. But when you are trying to work, it is difficult to do certain things, and that sort of takes away from the community aspect. And I'm not saying that I want to have a silent coffee shop at all, but it's more just a bit of a, I don't know what this looks like. I haven't mapped it out, and it's definitely not in the foreseeable because there's too many things going on. But I just think that having a space to bring creatives together or bring people together that are all working from home. I think maybe this is coming up because I actually think I had a dream about this last night. It was either a dream or a just before bed thought, one of those where you drifting off and you're like, I'm going to start a cafe that's called I think in my dream it was called WFH, which now that I'm awake I absolutely freaking hate, but we move. The name is still workshopping, so that's fine. But yeah, so one day I will have a cafe, a coffee shop, co-working space, whatever it looks like. But for now, I'm still just out and about working. I think I'm going to ask around as well at my LinkedIn, sort of people that are more local to me, where they would recommend working from, and just test a few spots out, because it always does build me back up. And I've got to get out of the habit of, when I do work away from home, I feel like I get less done, because I do 100%. However, it's just a lot more enjoyable. So I need to just keep that in my head. But anyway, rambling as per. So I am now going to head home because I'm going to basically lock in for the afternoon and do some solid editing. But I will fully catch up with you when I'm there. So I will catch you in a bit. taking a minute's break because I've got to a point in editing where I just my eyes go a bit square. If you remember that saying from when you were young. Oh, I dropped my glasses on the floor, brilliant. I'm going to sit in my thinking chair. This is the chair that I've sat in last time, and it needs to move to the office, but I haven't yet done it. That's the chair in all its glory. It looks quite small in here because obviously this is a bigger room and we've got another sofa coming tomorrow. But for the time being, while we've had people over, we've just had this here to help out and to mean that people can sit down and have a nice time and be a bit more comfortable. Anyway, I've taken a break in editing because I was having all these thoughts as well. Editing can be quite mundane and you don't necessarily have to think about a lot, especially in the early stages. So your brain does have time to sort of think about other things. And it fit in quite well with the point that I already wanted to talk to you guys about today anyway. So I thought now is the perfect time. So what I wanted to talk to you about was learning to enjoy the boring parts. And I think that it's incredibly important with any work that you do that you try and enjoy the boring parts, because 90% of the time it's going to be pretty boring. And in regards to editing, I'm lining up all my clips. So I've got 2 talking heads that I'm editing at the moment, and when you're doing a talking head, they'll have either a script or no script. If it's a script, it's easier, and these 2 thankfully are scripted. So they've spoken to the camera, done their script, and then done it a few more times. So what I'm doing is clipping each time. So each paragraph or sentence or however it's structured, I'm taking those clips, lining them up side by side, and then choosing the best cut and then piecing it all together so that you've got like a 2, 3, 4 minute video, whatever. And the early bits of doing this edit and putting the clips together are so boring. However, doing this means that I'm going to be in a much better place when I actually come to pulling together the final edit, because I've got the best bits of it. It's all amalgamated together nicely. So then all I've got to do is make sure that I can color grade. I'll cut out any gaps that there are. I'll make sure that it zooms in, zooms out, that sort of thing. And then add animation, maybe music over the top, that sort of thing. So doing this just saves me so much time in the future, even though it might seem boring now. I think as well, over the past couple of weeks, I've had a lot of conversations with other people that I'm giving jobs to, essentially. So I've been working for myself now within the business for over 1.5 years. And I think throughout that time, there's a lot of things that you go, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to outsource it, because you don't like doing it. But it's not about what you don't like doing, what you do like doing. It's more about what's going to make you grow the business better, what's going to make you happier, what's going to be best for the long run, etc. And it's taken me a while to figure out that it's not what I originally thought it was. And don't get me wrong, I don't think I've got it all figured out now. However, 2 things that I am outsourcing, because yes, they are boring, so to speak, but also I've been doing them now since the inception of the business. And I've realized that although I know how to do it, and I've been doing it, it benefits me more to outsource them, because they are tasks that are taking away time, but also I'm not putting the best into them because I am putting my time elsewhere. But these are elements that if I can tighten up a little bit better, then they're going to benefit me in the long run. So the 2 things that I'm referring to are, 1, accountancy. So I did switch accountants from my last video. When I was speaking to an accountant, I did end up switching, because they're going to do more for me for the same cost as my previous accountants. I really, really liked my previous accountants, but I'm going to give these guys a go because they're going to do more for me, and basically it takes off a whole load. So my accountants previously were doing loads, like end of financial, VAT, my personal tax return, like etc, etc. But I was doing the day-to-day bookkeeping and all of my reconciliation and stuff like that. Whereas these guys are going to be doing that for me, which will actually free up a lot of time, because the more the business grows, when you're turning over a really small amount, then you can do that because you're not spending loads of money either. So obviously you've got to spend money to make money, and you want to make certain profits smaller so that you pay less tax, blah, blah, blah. So in order to do that, you've then got to spend more when you're earning more. But also you're using more people to facilitate the service, so you're ending up paying other people more as well. So my expenses are going up, in which case I then need to make sure that all the receipts are uploaded to Xero, everything's reconciled and everything matches nicely. if I can take that off my plate, it's just an hour here and there that I'm going to give back to myself, and I'm going to utilize that to something else. The second thing that I'm decided to outsource, so for social climber marketing, so obviously we are a marketing agency, but I do marketing for all of my clients, and then social climber comes the bottom. So apart from what I do on YouTube, which I don't see as like direct social climber marketing, one day it will help in that regard, but right now it's just a bit of a behind the scenes of a founder rather than trying to push social climber down people's throats. So I'm not marketing it to the best of its ability. So I've already got a copywriter that does my social posts, and then they give the social post to me, and then I do the design for it. And when I say do the design, I mean do a crappy image and put it online. And at some point, websites in the future are going to be redundant. So if people are going to your LinkedIn profiles, company or personal, and it looks like crap, and you're a marketing agency that offers that service, they're not going to get in contact with you because they're going to be like, what the hell are you doing? So I'm delegating this to someone else because I'm not in a position to do it justice. So they're going to do my newsletters. They're going to send out 2 newsletters a month. So I'm going to work with them on the content and still input in that, but they just do the design and create the copy. I then give it sign off and it goes. And then they're also going to be taking over some level of ideation for the socials, so just some ideas. But once again, that will come off the back of me talking to them about the newsletters, as well as other things that they may see that they think that they should talk about. And then they'll do the design work with it as well, because I really like their design that they've helped to develop for social climate. However, I've digressed off of the original topic because my first topic was learning to enjoy the boring things. And then I've just told you that I've offloaded a couple of boring things. But let's get back on, because I've still got so many boring things that I do day to day, including planning, strategy, admin for myself and my business, for other clients. And day to day, that does look incredibly boring. It does, like when you look at my day on paper, it does look like a boring day in terms of the tasks that I actually have to do. But when you take a step back and you look at everything from afar, an overview over the period of time, and you actually see how much the business has grown and how much I've grown by doing these boring things is crazy. And I hate to always make a tenuous link to running, but I don't mean to, it just always links really well. But it's like the whole running theory as well of your longer, slower runs are the things that are building up your cardiovascular ability. They're going to make you a better long distance runner in the long run. Pardon the pun. But they are boring. When you're out for hours at a time running by yourself, it is incredibly boring. But then when you get to race day and you can actually run and you're like, oh, all of those boring long runs were worth it. It all eventually pulls together and is for the greater good, whether that's business, life, or fitness. And I just wanted to sort of have that conversation because it's come up quite a bit for me, like I say, over the past couple of weeks, but also because when you watch things on YouTube or on Instagram or wherever you consume your content, I am going to talk about comparison and other stuff in another vlog, because that is a huge thing that I also have to try and get my mindset out of. But when you are looking at all these people, you think, oh my God, they're doing such cool things. And I reckon they probably are. Most of them are, depending on what level they're at. A lot of them have been doing the boring stuff for the past 10, 15, 20 years that you haven't seen. And then now they're showing all the fun stuff because they deserve to. Or they're showing you something that is probably not that real. So take everything with a pinch of salt. If you're going to your work every single day, if you're trying to build in the trenches and you're thinking that it's shit and it's boring and when does the fun start, just keep pushing away. Because like I say, when you then step back in a year, 2 years, however long time, and you go, wow, okay, because I stuck and did this rubbish, I've now built what I've built. And then you can get rid of some of the boring stuff. So it actually does link. What I said earlier on, I didn't digress at all. It all links back together. So that's positive. But I'm going to stop rambling and go back to editing, and I'll chat with you in a little bit.